One day when I was walking home from work, I got to thinking about how much Unturned has changed my life. I thought it would be interesting to ask a bunch of other Unturned content creators and see if they shared a similar experience. These are their answers to those questions. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. It's a long one. How has Unturned changed your life?
I don't think it's really changed at all.
You dropped out of fucking college.
That is true. Actually, no.
Turn YouTuber.
It was a really good way for me to, should I say, realize that I like producing content.
Started playing this game back in like 2016. I got kicked out of a community I was in because I was a little shithead. So I was looking for somewhere to go, and I was getting bullied at school at the time. So I was like pretty lonely on the internet as well. So I was like, oh, I'll look for something else. So I started playing Unturned. I think it did have a positive impact on social thoughts and how to act around people.
Unturned has changed my life completely. From YouTube-wise, I've made a lot of connections and a lot of friends, Nilux, the Anoma gang, you as well included, all of the friends that we have today. Those connections are still really viable because they're all really good friends that we can still make collaborations, videos, help each other out with content, even apart from Unturned. Workshop-wise, monetarily has made me a lot of money to make me financially be able to buy things, improve, my career. With props to Nelson, he's helped me out with everything. Really nice guy.
God, there's so many people that I would have not met if I didn't play this game, and it's just a really good source for creative expression, I'd say, because I would have never gone into game modding or skin making or anything like that without playing Unturned.
It taught me to, not only the normal stuff like using Unity and Blender and all that stuff, it also taught me to be creative and think outside the box. And then also recently with the whole mapping and curated stuff, it allowed me to finally do something productive with my life. And now I don't get shouted at for sitting at the computer all day because I actually do something.
I'd say it had a very big impact when it comes to me getting introduced to not only PC gaming, but even meeting people like you and such. So I'd say it's definitely for the better.
If it wasn't for Unturned, I wouldn't have a YouTube channel for a start, because that's the basis of my entire channel, and therefore that translates into even income and stuff like that. YouTube is like a full-time job.
You couldn't even imagine. It's basically the reason I'm doing YouTube. First of all, it allowed me to meet some of my best friends that I've ever met in my life, like Boom, Quaz, all of them. I met them at E3 last week, and if it wasn't for Unturned, I wouldn't have known them, first of all. But as for the biggest impact, I'd say my career. I gained my first 100,000 subscribers solely playing Unturned. So considering that has allowed me to transition into the type of content I do now and a full-on YouTube career full-time is absolutely unreal for me, and I would never have expected that.
Unturned, doing YouTube and stuff has made me a bit more of a creative person. I'm having to think up original ideas. I haven't always executed on them, but I'm usually thinking. Other than that, Unturned has changed my life through the community. It's honestly pretty great. There's some really fantastic people who I've grown some really great friendships with.
Unturned was one of the first PC games I played, so I feel like it opened up the whole spectrum to all the PC games I play now. So I think it's had a lot of influence on just my decision to move over for PC from console. So yeah, I think it's had a pretty big impact.
It really skyrocketed my channel. I think without it, I probably wouldn't have been able to make this transition into virtual reality and all that. And I made a whole lot of friends. A ridiculous amount of friends. I met Nilux in person. Josiah and I are best friends because of it. We know everyone in the community.
Describe Unturned in one word.
Basic. Unturned is basic. It's just simple.
Yeah, I guess my word would be creative. It's very creative.
Sandbox, because that's what I enjoy the most about the game, the sandbox element.
Bruh. You can't really describe Unturned in only one word because of how many things it's done for multiple people. Back 2-3 years ago, we didn't really care about the rating. We cared more about the people and about making videos with those people, Unturned means a lot. Everybody's going to have their own words that they're going to say about Unturned, and I would love to give it one word, but there's so many words that I could say about Unturned. But in the end, it's just like I can't give it one word. That's how hard this is.
Open. Well, one, open world survival game. Two, you could just go into the game files and change stuff however you want. It's just really open game. I think that's a good word to describe it.
I guess like flexibility would be the word, because you can just like do so much with it, because like the modding tools are limited, like because the game is spaghetti code, and I'm pretty sure Nelson admitted that so much times.
Very playful.
Roguelike. Because you start off every single server with nothing. You have to grind until you have enough gear to take down the pre-existing dominating force on that server, and then someone else, some other group joins the server and takes that position that you had initially, and the cycle continues.
Amazing. Even though it has its ups and downs, it's just amazing. An amazing game.
Potential. Because it has the potential to be really great, but due to the one person developing it, it's going to take quite some time for it to realize that.
Freedom. There's just so many ways that you can, so many things you can do with a game. If it, like when it comes to modding or the ways you can play it, the server like configuration, you have so much freedom with it.
Community, which could be looked at in a weird way, but it just all felt like a big community, almost like a family. You have those ants that you can't stand, but overall, it's still your family. And when people come together with the same passions, you can't even match it. You cannot match that feeling.
Nostalgic. I'd have to say nostalgic. Unturned was my first PC game I ever installed. I called my friend up on Skype while that was still the main form of communication, and he was like, you gotta install this game. It's called Unturned. It's a zombie survival game. It's free. I was like, zombie survival game? That's spooky. Hopped in that night, and it's just been a great experience since then.
Fun. I think it's a good one. You could just legit, there's nothing stopping you from playing the game. You legit opened it up on Steam, downloaded it, and you just went in. And it was a whole bunch of fun, like with friends, by yourself, even on solo. So yeah, I definitely think it's just fun is a really good word for it.
Is tight-knit one word? I don't think there are very many other games out there that have such a tight-knit community. Everyone knows everyone.
I'd say it was definitely all about the friends, though, for sure. I mean, I wouldn't have made any mods if it wasn't for friends, but...
Chaos. It's a lot of chaos. Because everyone's just running around, doing what they want with their OP shit, blowing each other up. I mean, it's fun if you enjoy that kind of thing, but yeah. No, it's kind of chaos.
What is the one emotion you feel most frequently when playing Unturned?
Freedom. You feel like you can go do anything, kinda. Like you can choose how you want to play the game. You want to play as a bandit, or do you want to play as more of a passive PvE player? Just you play the game how you want to play it.
I feel happy all the time, playing with friends and stuff. That's my emotion. I just feel happy.
Exciting. I suppose just the thrill of making videos is what helped me enjoy Unturned in the long term.
Frustration. When I played, at least, raiding very easy. But I really enjoyed making bases, so it was pretty rough.
Ecstatic, absolutely ecstatic, full of energy, ecstatic.
This might be a weird choice, but Serenity, it's usually just really calm. Like, despite seeing all like the PvP and raiding and all that stuff that you see on like YouTube or on screenshots and stuff, there's a lot of just chilling, I guess.
Rage. I feel rage when I started playing the game. It was just really frustrating to, do anything, because you would just like grind for a bunch of stuff. You'd collect everything, and then like some guy would laser you down with a maple strike.
Well, me scared because I suck, but it's a good scare. It's like a thrill.
Despair, dude. When you were fully decked out with the Alice pack, thief top and bottom, you know the vibes. And then you would die.
Like maybe frustrating. And it's not because like I think it's bad or anything, right? But I just think it could be so much better.
I guess boredom, because when I played a lot of arena games, but the problem was that knowing which guns are the best and having everyone else use really bad ones eventually leads to you winning a lot, and that's how I got top 50. Just because everyone just kept using weaker guns and it just got bored after a while, and that's why I eventually quit.
I'd say maybe like anxious or anticipation, something like that, because at any moment you could just lose everything. The thing is, I like that about the game. Like that's one of the the reasons I play it.
Disappointment. I just feel as if the game has lost its charm for me personally. Now that's not going to be everyone because everybody's different, but I just personally feel disappointed with the state of the game. I just feel like the community as a whole has kind of lost its charm. It's literally just full of pay to win RP servers, donate $50 to get ahead of everyone type of stuff. It just doesn't feel the same as it did. Like if I was a new player and I came across this game today, I'd probably stick with it for a good week. But it could be that maybe I just have too many hours in it and you can only enjoy something for so long.
It's usually joy. Like I'm usually enjoying the experience, but it's also a mix of joy and anticipation for the future.
Immersion, I would say, in a way. I think it depends on who you're playing with. Like, if you're playing solo, you get immersed, like, pretty easily.
Dude, nervous? Like, it's a full-time job. You go off the server, your base is still there. Your stuff is still there. We would, like, swap. Like, when I'm sleeping, we'd make sure that someone was on the server or at least available to let us know if the base is getting raided. And there's one time where I message Patrick and I say, bro, our base is getting raided. I can hear the charges being placed, and he's driving home from work. He's like 5 minutes home from work. He's like, holy shit, hold them off. I'm on my way. Dude, that's where it gets nervous.
Say I feel like really happy though, just playing the game somehow, even 4 years later after downloading it, just getting to actually just spend time, even if it's with the same people and I'm not even having as much fun with the game. I'd say it's a whole lot more fun with the same friends.
On a curiosity, maybe?
While playing Unturned, have you met people in-game that you would consider your friends now?
Our new friend group, they're all from Unturned. It'd just be me and Clash if we did not play Unturned. We'd still be playing Call of Duty, playing console probably.
We ran into Mato Man on a server. We raided him. He was about to quit the game. Like, all right, you could play with us. We make YouTube videos and stuff. Cool, maybe I should make one. And he started making videos, and now he's famous.
Once I discovered the YouTube community, I met a lot of people. And like, you probably know that I'm pretty good friends with Danaby2 and a lot of other people.
If I had a best friend, it would probably be Serati. I feel like we get along. We have sort of similar interests and ideas. Danaby2 is pretty kind of up there. About a couple other guys. Super Toaster's in my Discord. He's not a YouTuber, but I met him through Unturned and he's really cool. Obviously the Union, but I've definitely made a considerable amount of friends in the Unturned community in comparison to any other community I've really been in.
Almost everyone that I am friends with to this day have come from Unturned arena lobbies and or survival. Phantom Miner, NSTM, my boy Hayden, Robocast even met in arena lobbies. No joke, dude, no joke.
Oh my god, yes. There's actually, like, you always hear stories of people meeting each other through games, and it's usually from, like, somewhat exterior means. But I have a friend that I still talk to this day, and you've played with him before, that I literally met in game, like directly in game. We met up in a server and just talked through the voice chat, and I still talk to him to this day.
I remember back in the day, I first met like my first like long-term friend, which was somebody on Earth, on Red Flyer server. He had this fan server back in the day, and I was an admin on it, and I had this big ass sky base, and then like that's actually where I met somebody on Earth, and then after that, I just met a bunch more people through like Discord and all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to say the community is the game technically, but it is. It is like. The people that you play with, the people that you meet, the people that you hear, the things that you hear from the said people that you meet from the game, it's all connected.
Yeah, like every single friend I have online right now is through Unturned. Now that I think of it, like that's in the past like 3 years I've been playing Unturned. I don't think I have a single friend that I met outside of Unturned online.
Oh, dude, there's so many. for example, Panda. I met Panda thanks to streaming Unturned on Twitch, and we've been friends for soon 3 years, which is absolutely insane. I've made friends with Stabarn, Hayden. I can't name them all. There's too many.
I've met so many people through doing YouTube and making Unturned videos and that sort of thing. A lot of my close internet friends came from Unturned.
I've got countless friendships that I've met through the game itself. A lot of YouTubers, specifically, like like Tyler and Quaz and everybody, I met through Unturned, and because of that, I mean, we're friends outside of the game now. You know, we went to like TwitchCon together. We're planning trips, and it's actually formed a real friendship, which is really cool.
One of my oldest friends that I met through just a live stream that I was watching is Beanie Josh, or formerly known as Mr. Potatoes Gaming. He and I have been playing and just hanging out for as long as I can remember. Also, another really long-time friend is Danaby2. We met on Red Flyer's Unturned server. They were building a sky base. I had just downloaded the game. I was starting to watch some YouTube videos of Unturned, and I logged on, and they teleported me to this massive sky base. It was amazing. And Danaby was like getting some like plates and making like race car maps in the game. It was some really great memories through there.
The people I've met through it, the content creators, all of that. So yeah, I think I've met some crazy good people from Unturned, and just like I met Union, I met NSTM, I met a whole bunch of people. They're definitely some people I would consider close friend, and it's just from the game.
Well, yeah, I met Boom for Unturned, kind of, and Quaz and everyone through that. Spanx, Dizzy D. Yeah, no, I've made quite a few people that I would consider friends off Unturned. It's pretty cool.
Why did you decide to play Unturned and make content for it? Why not any other game on the Steam Marketplace?
The reason we came to Unturned was, remember, we were on PS4, and I got grounded from my PS4, but I still had a laptop.
And I had a laptop.
Dava had a laptop, so we found a way to play with each other on a game that was easy to run on a laptop.
I really enjoyed the game. It was really the only free-to-play game that I enjoyed. I don't know, the sandbox element made it really nice, really appealing.
I did it for, just fun, just because like I was friends with a couple people making videos at the time. So I was like, I'll do this. I'll give it a go. So it was purely community, like, involvement that I was making videos for Unturned.
Unturned was the absolute best aesthetically and playstyle game that I've played in quite a while. My first time playing it, even before the Unturned that we know today, Operation Maple Leaf, I was playing it and I was like, this game feels like a combination between Minecraft and Rust. The fact that I'm not a huge fan of that type of survival genre, but the fact that I played Unturned for so many years and enjoyed it just blows my mind. So the reason why I made content for it was one of the most fun and entertaining games I had played at the time.
I've been messing around with Unturned for so long that I don't even remember how I got started. I guess it's just because my friends were doing it. Like, I met people like Dan and Union and stuff, and I just kind of was like, what they're doing, and I'm going to do it too. And I ended up having a lot of fun with it.
The fact that it was very social and very connected with each other, everybody as a community, I thought that was the reason why I really liked just, not only playing the game, but also like making stuff with other people.
Whenever I play a game, I just play like one game at a time, and I really invest a lot into it. So Unturned just happened to be the game at that time.
How I found Unturned and how I started making videos on Unturned was obviously thanks to my older brother, Rose, from Tour Games. So he was kind of an inspiration. He showed me what Unturned was, and I started making them myself and tried to make similar videos to them.
Well, for one, that's what I spent the most time on that time, and two, it was one of the easiest to actually get into without having to dig deep into the files or try to decode them, like other games such as PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
I really enjoyed what could be done with it, especially with all the modding and everything that would later come. It allowed me to play a game that I really have a lot of passion for. I wasn't faking any of it like some people do with other games. Like, I genuinely enjoyed the game. The community felt really close-knit, and I was just enjoying the direction it was going.
I think it's just getting drawn into all the content that was getting created around it at the time in its prime. You had people like Union, you had people like Nilex making these huge cinematics of the game. You had people like you who were making like in-depth like things about all the mechanics and how the game worked. And you just had people who were making dumb memes that were just funny to watch, like Rice Shep and just Union and everyone. So I think just the community around it just really brought me in, and I was like, well, this could seem fun to take a crack at.
At the time, I had like 2,000 subscribers, and I posted a video on how to build a house or how to farm or stuff like that. And it was nice to have, I could post a video and it would actually get views and it would actually get comments and people suggesting additional stuff. So it was like actually like, wow, like when I'm posting Unturned, like people actually watch it. That's what made me do it, because I could come back and I could actually like read a comment section that has a discussion going on about something.
I saw Boom's shout out competition, so I entered that. I won one of them. You know, he messaged me and he's like, "Oh, do you wanna play together, do a video?" And that's sort of what started me making videos on it, because that first video with Boom did really well. So I was like, "Oh, okay, people do like Unturned content." So I did more and more.
What was your most memorable experience playing Unturned?
Created Unturned Royale for like all the creators. That was my most memorable. Unturned Royale was like freaking the peak.
Dude, I have so many. All right, so we used to have these events or whatever, and the first event was a huge tank battle event. So we made a Discord, and he told everybody, join it. We're all gonna have a big tank battle, and there was like 48 people that showed up, and we split the teams, and we got on PEI, I think, and we just had a big tank battle. It was awesome.
When I started off my channel, when I got those first 1,000 subscribers, I met a lot of people back then. I had a lot of good times on Russia, a pretty nostalgic map for a lot of people.
To this one time on Russia, where it's me and Danby and Sir Addy, and there was just a honey badger and a couple guns, and I was like, okay, Addy, take the honey badger. We go through St. Petersburg. I'll never forget the day some kid stomped Addy. Addy died to I think a crossbow probably. The dude picked up the honey badger and then logged out. That was a bad day.
Like out of nowhere, Nelson messaged me on Steam. He's like, "Hey, you want to come raid my base I made?" And I'm like, "Oh, you're fine." He tells me, "Invite as many people as you can, join my server, and raid my base." I'm like, so me and G Ricky set up a 20-man group to fight Nelson. So it was like 20 people versus 4 or 3 with Nelson. Nelson gives me and G Ricky admin. Nelson goes back to his base. Me and G Ricky spawning in items, APCs, full military sets. We get out, we're rushing up there. And one thing that nobody knows, Nelson can kick ass with an Eagle Fire. There is a reason why he loves that gun. Holy shit. He 2-tapped the guy next to me. I saw his head explode. He died in front of my arm. So me, G Ricky lead a force, and for like 2 to 3 hours, 3 multiple different raids every time we would lose. And we never managed to beat Nelson and his squad.
I did a lot of background testing for the Unturned mod that Union made. I was supposed to do more, but I got a really bad case of the flu when I was supposed to work. I still regret that. But just testing and playing that on a server with a bunch of people and sort of being a part of it, it was a nice experience.
The memory of playing with real life friends back when I only had like 100 hours or so. Back then we didn't even know about the whole like group system, so we just played like independently. There was so much like friendly fire and everything. It was...
When I played the Unturned RP, I just heard about the thing. I run into Fudgy, and he recognized me, and we started talking, and then we got to know each other and did some RP videos together. I think that's one of the most fond memories I have.
We were doing a survival server, right? And we made a water base, like on top of the water, and we just took out the entire server.
Me and my good friend Dubsy, we were playing on a Canada server, and we was on a role-playing server, and it's very rare to get people that actually do roleplay, but we would be going around the whole map, and everybody that we met was so friendly. And more specifically, there's this farmland area, and in every single barn there was a group of farmers, real players, that had like taken over the farm and made it their own. And we would talk to them, trade with them, and honestly, it was just such a wholesome like experience to have like so many friendly people on one server.
Anoma Gaming, back in the day, that's kind of like when we really started getting into it, you know, not just playing the game, but like actually creating and meeting people and having a community. Then we started Anoma Gaming, and without a doubt, that's the memory that stands out the most.
It might just have to be Red Flyer server and just building things on there, because that was the first time I really played on a server with people I didn't know, and I connected with them, and I was able to hang out with them, and I was like, wow, there's actually like a community here, and there's really cool people here.
I had this like laptop I stole from my aunt. It was like a really shitty laptop that got like barely 15 FPS. I remember just playing single player for like hours on end, and just like, I remember the map too. I think it was PEI, and there's like this little hardware store that I built my base in, and I just kept going there because all the good stuff spawned there, like stuff to build your base, and I just remember hours of playing in that one town, just getting loot and stuff. Unturned Royale, yeah, I think you were in it. Unturned Royale, I think that's the one Alpha Squad ran. I think definitely a lot came from that. I mean, the drama, some unfair play, but I definitely think that could also be considered like a memorable moment, because that was just like all the YouTuber content creators on one little server.
We played survival with Patrick or SSV and a few other friends. Legitimately got a big base on the server, and I did a few videos on it. And we made friends with this crazy guy that had everything, and we went and took some of his tanks, and we raided a base with the tanks. And that was freaking sweet. That was probably the most memorable, I think.
Well, it was on, at the time, it was Rain's bootleg server, and Chief was coming on, and I supplied him with thousands and thousands of dollars worth of in-game cash, and we just caused a total riot and chaos on the server. It was really, really fun, but he sadly got banned pretty quickly. But
do you plan to create content when Unturned 2 releases?
Another Unturned Royale, probably, when it starts or something.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a big comeback.
To some extent, yeah, just the plan to see what Unturned 2 has in store and continue making videos. It probably will.
If I made content for Unturned 2, it would have to be, I'd have to think of something new. If the game makes the same mistakes as Unturned 3.0, I probably won't.
There is not one person that is not going to try to make videos. If you've made content in 3.0, in 4.0, or if you want to call it 2, you know, I see Nelson, it's weird.
I'm probably gonna make something because Unturned 2, but it's just like such a jump, honestly. Like different engine, different framework, different game entirely. Maybe if I end up playing a lot of Unturned 2, which I hope I do, because it seems like it's gonna be really good. Maybe I'll start modding. I genuinely don't know.
Well, if the mapping and modding tools and all that stuff is really easy to use, then I'm definitely gonna make something.
As soon as Unturned 2 launches, I'm going to be streaming it. I'm going to try to stream it daily. I already stream daily.
If you could say one thing to Nelson, what would it be?
Woo! Hi, Nelson. Follow me on Twitter. Daba's Creator.
I need a Steam key.
Like, work hard, take your time, but not too much time, but and listen to the community, even though he probably already does that, but that's important.
I never got the chance to address him, vocally, but I would just say, like, first of all, just get this stuff out of the way. I'm really grateful that you made this game. It's a really fun game. Occupied my past few years with it. It was great. Made my life a lot more enjoyable as well, with some stuff that I had to go through.
Communication, and I see that with Nelson a bit. He doesn't communicate, where communication and expressing your ideas is key to having a community that has positive discussions. Communicating with people is probably key to having a better game.
The one thing that I've always wanted to tell Nelson, and I've never told him on Steam, and I regret not saying it, is thank you. Thank you for making Unturned. Thank you for helping me with costumes, cosmetics, things like this, workshop, YouTube, even, as well as replying to my videos and watching them. It's just sincerely a huge thank you.
Bring back the umbrella parachutes. Screw realism.
Can I show him a meme? Can you like put it up on screen?
Nelson, take your time, optimize the game, optimizing the game is going to allow a lot of people to play, a lot of people use a lot of money, and I know that's what you want. That's what I want too.
Keep gun balance in mind, because with current 3.0, gun balance is basically non-existent.
It might feel like all the community is against him. I see it so many posts and comments of people flaming the game, but I'd just like him to know that there is so many of us that are completely rooting for Unturned 2.0 and for the development of it.
The one thing I'd say to Nelson is just a simple thank you. As much criticism as he gets, like, I get it, he's creating something and everybody wants it to go a different direction, but I would say thank you and keep doing what you're doing.
Don't listen to the fans all the time. I think that the game needs to be created by you. Fan input is exceedingly important, but you need to make the game your own.
I got a little bit of that too thing, I think the gunplay he's working on right now, Nelson, keep that up. That stuff's dope. And also a thank you, because this game's definitely changed a lot of people, like a lot of people's lives, so keep working on it. Make better gunplay, please. TY.
But I'm freaking proud of him. I don't know how he did it. This is a free-to-play survival game that is more jam-packed than a lot of AAA titles out there and has a larger community, in a content creator community, player base, than largely 99% of any other game out there.
I just really hope that Unturned 2 brings back all the best stuff of Unturned 3.0 and just makes it better, but bring back the survival aspect that I think Unturned 3.0 really is missing these days.
I don't know. I'd like to see Unturned sort of go out and establish its own like specific core game elements as like one game designer in studying like to another.
Listening to all of these veteran Unturned community members, it quickly becomes apparent that Unturned has influenced their lives fairly significantly. This influence doesn't derive from the game directly, but rather the strong friendships made and community groups formed. Unturned is a fun game, but rarely did I hear creators mention specific game mechanics or specific game items in regards to their experiences. I did hear time and time again about the freedom and openness which the game provides that leads to meaningful and expressive gameplay. This gameplay easily leads into an interesting player interaction, which flowers into close friendships. I greatly appreciate all of these content creators for giving me some of their valuable time to talk about themselves and the game. I wish I could have included more of them talking. However, due to time constraints, I needed to be aggressive when it came to cutting down stories. I have hours of audio from these creators filled with hilarious stories and interesting perspectives. However, I wasn't able to include all of that. Hopefully, in this video, I captured the essence of what these creators were trying to articulate. When this video goes live and is done premiering, come swing by my Twitch channel. It's going to be linked down below. We will be creating and editing some Unturned memes. Also, you can see my beautiful face in HD. Also, a huge thank you to Fleshy Pig for hanging out while we edited this monstrosity. He helped keep my motivation up, and without him, it would have been completed a lot later.